Myself, Dr. Bibhuti Dutt Singh, PG Department of Zoology, D.A.V.P.G College SIWAN, BIHAR. Today, we are going to talk about classification of Platyhelminthes. This topic is important for B.Sc.Part-1 Zoology honors. This energetic and potential topic includes the point number 1, morphological advances of Platyhelminthes. Point number 2, phylogenetic significance of Platyhelminthes. Point number 3, general characters of Platyhelminthes. Point number 4, larval forms of Platyhelminthes. Introduction. Actually, the scientific study of Platyhelminthes is called Platyhelminthology. Aristotle mentions tapeworms, but scientific study of flatworms only in 18th century. The term Platyhelminthes derived from Greek word platys of flat plus helminths worm. The term Platyhelminthes was first proposed by December 1859 for the flatworms. Platyhelminthes are free-living and symbiotropic flatworms. They may be defined as acoelomate, triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, vermiform, dorso-ventrally flattened organisms, devoid of a definite anus, without a skeleton system, respiratory system, and circulatory system, with phloem cells or protonephridia, and with mesenchymal cells, respiratory mesoderms, and filling of spaces and between various organs. About 10,000 species known in phylum Platyhelminthes. Next slide. Morphological advances of Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes shows an advancement over the previous metazoans phylum Coelenterata and Ctenophora in the following respects. Point number 1, tissues organ level of organization. Point number 2, triploblastic body and 3 germ layers, mesoderm, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderms. Point number 3, symmetry, definitely bilateral at the lowest level. Point number 4, a definite head and tail. Point number 5, mesodermal muscles and bundles and layers. Point number 6, complex and efficient gastrovascular cavity. Point number 7, nervous system with large anteriorly situated ganglia and nerve cords running along the body. Point number 8, better developed sensory organs. Point number 9, internally situated gonads with permanent gonoducts and copulatory structures. Point number 10, behavior organization through learning. Now come back the phylogenetic significance of Platyhelminthes. The phylogenetic or phylogenetic tree or evolutionary tree is a branching diagrams or tree showing the evolutionary relationship among various biological species or other entities, their phylogeny based upon similarities and differences in their physical or genetic characteristics. Platyhelminthes or flatworms are supposed to have evolved from coelenterate-like ancestor which underwent a change from radial to bilateral symmetry. Coelenterate ancestor was like a planula larva as primitive aerial worms shared many features with planula such as point number 1 absent of epidermal basement membrane, point number 2 absent of excretory organs, point number 3 absent of gonads. So the trematodes are thought to have evolved from some common cell or parasitic travelarians, and cystodes evolved independently from trematodes. Then after the next slide, general characters of Platyhelminthes. The important characteristics feature of Platyhelminthes are: point number 1 habitat, free living, common cells or parasitic forms. Point number 2 level of organization, tissues organ grade of organization, that is body cell aggregate into definite tissues and tissues make up organs. Point number 3 and germs layers. Point number the body divided into 3 germs layers: ectoderms, mesoderms and endoderms. So the body is the triploblastic in nature. Point number 4 body form, dorso-ventrally flattened, usually with a small well-defined ventral surface bearing mouth or gonopores. Point number 5 body wall, body unsegmented except in class Cystoda. Point number 6 body cavity acoelomate, that is without any body cavity. Spaces between various organs and filled with spatial mesodermal tissues, the mesenchymal or parenchymal cells. Point number 7 body adhesive structure like hooks, spines and suckers, and adhesive secretion common in parasitic forms. Point number 8 digestive system, the digestive tract if present in incomplete without anus, and digestive tract is absent in tapeworms. Respiratory system, circulatory system are absent. Point number 9 skeletal system, the fluid in the parenchyma networks maintains the body shape. It is called hydroskeletons. Point number 10 excretory system, it consists of peculiar phlegm cells, protonephridia, which are meant by excretion and osmoregulation the excretory product as a form of the ammonia. So the Platyhelminthes are the amniotic. Point number 11 nervous system. Nervous system primitive ladder-like, comprises a pair of anterior ganglia with longitudinal nerve cords connected by transverse nerves. Point number 11 sense organs. Sense organs simple, eye spots or photoreceptors in free living forms. Point number 12 reproductive system, mostly monoecious, hermaphrodite with complex reproductive system, well developed gonads, gonodocs and accessory organs, eggs mostly devoid of yolk. Yolk produced separately in yolk or vitelline organs. Sexual reproduction by transverse bandary fusions occurs in most flatworms. Point number 13 fertilization. Internal fertilization may be cross or self in tapeworms self-fertilization is found. Point number 14, development. Development is direct or indirect. Life cycle is complicated in most flatworms with one or more larval stages. The different larval stages of Fasciola hepatica: one larval stage, Merastidium; number 2 larval stage, Asporocyst larva; number 3 larval stage, radial larva; number 4 larval stage, Cercaria larva; number 5 larval stage, Metacercaria larva are present. In the tapeworms, example for Taenia soliums, oncosphere larva, hexacanth larva or Cystis larvae are found. Point number 15, regenerations. It is well marked in some flatworms like the planaria. Then after, I discuss about classifications and types of classifications and types of classes. So already the classifications of Platyhelminthes, these are divided into 3 classes. Class first, Turbularia, example Eugasia, planaria. Class second, Trematoda, example Fasciola hepatica or Cystosoma hematobiums. Class 3, Cystoda, example Taenia soliums, Taenia scizinata, Echinococcus granulosus. So I first of all discuss about the class Turbularia. Turbularia, example Eugasia, planaria. Another examples Mesostoma. The general characters of Turbularia, these are number 1 characters, usually non-parasitic free living worms are called planarians. Point number 2, they are terrestrial, marine or freshwater. Point number 3, body unsegmented, flattened and covered with ciliated cellular or syncytial epidermis. Point number 4, mouth ventral intestine by muscular pharynx. Point number 5, suckers absent. Point number 6, mostly hermaphrodite. Some reproduce asexually and development usually direct. So you can see the one of example of planaria. You can see the structure of the planaria. So the important feature, planaria, also known as Eugasia, lives in flat freshwater, mostly scavenger, also feed on protists. Hermaphrodites in nature, has a simple brain, ganglia and nervous system, plus 2 eye spots. It has great power of regeneration. Class Trematoda, example Fasciola hepatica, Cystosoma hematobiums. The general characters of Trematoda, these are as follows. Point number 1, they are ectoparasite and endoparasite flatworms called floics. Point number 2, body usually unsegmented, dorso-ventrally flattened, leaf-like, tegument thick but without cilia. Point number 3, suckers and sometimes hooks present. Point number 4, alimentary canal with anterior mouth, simple pharynx and 2 main branches. Point number 5, and 3 pairs of longitudinal nerve cords. Point number 6, mostly monoecious, development direct in ectoparasite or indirect endoparasite with alternation of hosts. So you can see the structure of fasciola hepatica. The fasciola hepatica is commonly known as liver fluid. Adult fasciola hepatica is found in the liver and bile duct or sheep, goat, which are its primary host. The secondary or intermediate host is a pond snail. The fluid is hermaphrodite, but there is cross fertilization. It causes a disease known as liver rot or fasciosis. The the infected animals feels great muscular weakness resulting in muscular pain. The liver enlarges and the bile ducts are blocked. The disease may prove fatal to animals. Next example, cystosoma hematobiums. So you can see the structure of cystosoma hematobiums. Cystosoma is commonly called the blood fluid as it lives in the hepatic portal system and mesenteric blood vessels of human beings. Its intermediate host is a snail. The male carries the female permanently in the gynecophoric canals. Cystosoma shows well-marked sexual dimorphism. After fertilization, the female leaves the male and lays egg in the smaller blood vessels. Cystosoma causes cystosomiasis. The symptoms of the disease are diarrhea, anemia, enlargement of the liver, and spleen pain and fever. The disease can be prevented by not taking contaminated water. The next classes 3, cystoda. Example, Taenia soliums, Taenia saginata, or Echinococcus granulosus. The general characters of cystoda. Point number 1, they are endoparasitic flatworms called tapeworms. Body segmented, elongated, flat, ribbon-like structures. Point number 3, scolex with suckers or hooks or both. Point number 4, no alimentary canal, no sense organs. Point number 5, each mature segment or proglottids monoecious with male and female organs. Point number 6, life cycle complicated involving one or more intermediate hosts, embryos with hooks. You can see the structure of Taenia soliums. Taenia solium is commonly called the pork tapeworms. It is found in all those countries where pork is taken as food. The adults of Tinea soliums are parasite in the small intestine of human beings, primary host, and its larva is found in the muscles of the pig, mostly secondary host. The tapeworms doesn't have alimentary canals. The digested food of the host is diffused directly through the general body surface. Tinea solium is hermaphrodite and there is self-fertilization. The body is divided into three parts. One, scolex. Second, neck. Third, strobila. A The top of the scolex lies a cone-like rostellum. The rostellum bears at its base about 22 to 32 small curved chitinous hooks placed into circlets. Hooks of the posterior circlet are somewhat smaller than those of the anterior one. On the middle part of the scolex, there are present four cup-like muscular suckers. The suckers and hooks are the organs of attachments. The strobila consist of immature, mature, and gravid proglottids. Proglottids show pseudometamerisms, means the external segmentation. If any animals, the body is only externally segmented, and this is called the pseudometamerisms. If the animals, the body can be externally or internally both segmented, and this is called metamerisms. So, Tinea soliums are pseudometamerisms. Both mouth and anus are absent. Tinea soliums causes disease. This is known as the taniasis. This disease can be characterized by the such symptoms and abdominal pain, anemia, false appetite, and indigestion. You can see the Tinea solium scolex. A. Scolex magnified. B. Frontal view of scolex. C. Small hooks. D. Large hooks. Next, you can see the structure of Echinococcus granulosus. The Echinococcus granulosus, the dog tapeworms, it lives as an endoparasite in the intestine of dogs, cats, and foxes. Some man serves as an incidental host. The dog tapeworms consist of a scolex, neck, and strobila. Strobila consists of 3 or 4 proglottids. One immature or 2 mature and 1 very large gravid proglottids. Man acquires infection by playing with pet dogs. So you can see the structure of Echinococcus granulosus parasite. Next example, you can see the structure of Tinea seisinata. Tinea seisinata is commonly called the beef tapeworms. It lives in the human intestine of beef eating persons. Its intermediate host are cattle and buffaloes. It is larger than Tiniasodiums. Its body is divided into scolex, neck, and strobila. The scolex bears and four adhesive suckers, but it does not have rostellum and hooks. Its infection occurs by taking under cooked beef. Conclusion: after going through the above accounts and above discussions, organisms of the phylum Platyhelminthes are ribbon-shaped, shaped bodies and are dorso-ventrally flattened from top to bottom. They are simplest bilaterally symmetrical animals. Platyhelminthes are one of the largest animal phyla after arthropods, mollusks, and chordates. The important reference book you can see on my screen. Next, thanks.